Welcome to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist, coming to you live from the Wave Beach Realty Studios in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Call us today at 843-957-3872.
The holidays are almost here, so it's time to get your financial picture wrapped up so you can have a great Christmas and a happy new year. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com to get some financial coaching.
Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. Hey guys, don't forget we go live every Saturday at 11 a.m. on 94.5 as well as 106.7, or you can stream us live at talkradiomb.com. This segment is sponsored by Bobby Clary State Farm. Call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. All right, guys, welcome back into our newest episode of the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Wes the Economist and Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist. Today, we're going to bleed off of our last amazing conversation about the COVID report and corruption, and now we're just going to talk about corruption as a whole in the government.
In general, and particularly the Bank Secrecy Act.
Yes, it's sad that we have this much government corruption to talk about, that we can make multiple segments out of it. Or
we probably could do a whole month.
Yeah, I mean, just call it government corruption month.
The COVID report just came out last week. This Bankruptcy Secrecy Act report came out from the House Judiciary Committee last week. So this is coming from, I'm not sure if this report actually came from a non-partisan, if it's just coming out from the actual Republicans on the Senate, on the committee. But either way, it's still conspiracy. And then, well, we say it's conspiracy, but it's being proven that it's not conspiracy. Yeah. And then we'll probably end up at some point here. We'll probably won't be on the radio segment because we'll be this is more for podcast and radio segment. Right. But we'll probably end up talking about the Hunter pardon, which you and I both believe. I think that's not really about Hunter.
It has nothing to do with Hunter. I think if Biden had his choice, if it had nothing to do with anything else and it was just Hunter in jail, he'd probably be happier with him there because he's like, good Lord, this idiot's off the streets. No more heroin, no more crack, no more prostitutes, whatever he's out there doing. I don't have to worry about him. He's locked up. Right. So obviously, I don't think he really wanted to pardon him for Hunter's sake. I think it's...
Yeah, I think it's a lot deeper than that.
A lot deeper than that.
And I've seen today where the the White House advisors, top legal, have been talking about other pardons. Yeah. So get into the pardons of... Is this even legal? Because usually the pardon has been used for people who have been convicted of something. And I guess Biden technically had been of those charges. Right. But the pardon itself is far more sweeping than that. Yeah. But this one really bothers me, what we start out with this report being released. Basically, the report says how the federal government weaponized the Bank Secrecy Act to spy on Americans. And a lot of people don't know this is going on. And I think Joe Rogan, I saw a clip from Joe Rogan. He had somebody on who had actually been debanked by somebody. Sure, here it is right here. P. Marco? Who is this? He was Mark Anderson. Okay. I think he was just on a podcast.
Yeah, I think he was on I haven't listened to that episode yet because he puts out one every day and they're all 4 hours long. So I try to listen to as many of them as I can though when I'm in the car, but I haven't heard that one yet.
So I heard a little clip from him talking about how he'd been debanked by the one of the larger banks. I do know Bank of America at one point. This has been it's been more than 3 or 4 years ago, where they went in and they canceled the account of some gun shops, and I want to say either ammo producers or gun producers in the United States, and said we just don't want to do business with your kind. Wow. So it basically, what this report, I haven't read the report yet, but the Bank Secrecy Act, and let me just read a couple of the things from the GOP. It all started after a whistleblower told a committee following January 6th, Bank of America voluntarily provided the FBI with a list of individuals who used Bank of America cards in D.C. area during that time without legal process.
That's wild.
So they just gave it to them because they asked.
Wow.
We uncovered evidence of federal law enforcement engaging in broad financial surveillance, prying into the private transactions of American consumers.
Yep.
The new report reveals how, under the Biden-Harris administration, the FBI and the Treasury Department have manipulated the federal laws like the Bank Secrecy Act to access Americans' private financial data without a warrant.
It's crazy.
The federal government used sweeping terms like MAGA, imagine that, and Trump to flag Americans, even treating the purchase of Bibles or firearms as signs of extremism. In fact, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network and the FBI facilitated multiple back-channel discussions with financial institutions to gather Americans' private financial information. All this without due process, all this without warrants.
Yeah, and that ties back to that banking secrecy, whatever it is, the thing that I have to, all our LLCs have to do now. That's all because of that. So I have to go. I went on. It was like FinCEN.gov or whatever, and you go on there.
Yeah,
and
actually, that's one of the ones I just mentioned.
Yeah, yeah.
Stands for, where's it at? I just saw that.
Stands for
Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. FinCEN.
Yep. So that's and you get fined $1,000 a day. I can't remember when it's due. It's somewhere in time January. I think it's due. Don't quote me on the exact date, but I think it's in January. You have to have it done by for 2024 or 2025.
If you are a LLC before, or a corporation, it's not just LLC, it's corporation.
Yeah, it's any.
If you're a corporation before January 1st, 24, what are we in? 2024.
Yeah.
You had all year to do it.
Right.
If you incorporated this year, you had 90 days.
Yeah.
If you did not do it, then it's a $1,000 a day fine.
Yeah.
If you don't do it by December 31st for last year, if you were in business for last year, then it's $1,000 a day on January 1st.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Because a bunch of these people who have these LLCs or small businesses have no clue this is even out there.
Right.
How are you supposed to know? They didn't send any messages or anything. There's no, you are a corporation inside your state. This is not a state law.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the IRS. Accountants won't touch this.
Right.
Because they have no clue what's coming from it. And so it really leaves a lot of people out. It's going to bankrupt a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not good.
Now,
I'm hoping it gets reversed.
Well, I did read there was a lawsuit. I follow her. What is her name? I got an email from her somewhere. She's an economist who goes on Glenn Beck all the time. She wrote the book "You'll Own Nothing and Like It," based on what's coming out of the World Economic Forum. But she sent out a newsletter, not a news alert, yesterday or day before yesterday, where a challenge is being taken to the courts.
Good.
Over to get rid of it. It should be done.
I hope so.
I'm looking through some of this other stuff they posted about this from the Judiciary Committee. This is from the FBI sending to undisclosed people, obviously.
Right.
This may turn into a code red, but in the interim, we want to push your selectors. We confirmed on the ops side. So yes, we have now confirmed we have JIS? Teed up all the results from our normal code red protocol, but we will
join intelligence staff,
any
maybe
SARs you decide to file on in terms of code red over the weekend, and we'll hear from it first. I'm not sure. Let's see. FBI encourages banks to file SARs on individuals they deem suspicious, is what the whole thing was about. And that's the actual paperwork they sent out.
This is why
suspicious activity report. SARs.
I think this is why crypto's doing so well right now. Everybody's trying to move into the.
One of the most alarming findings of the report is the federal law enforcement have been multiple SAR systems to gain access to financial information without warrants. Governments using financial institutions as de facto arms of law enforcement, profiling Americans and flagging them as suspicious based on vague criteria.
Wow.
SARS filings have increased by 118% since 2014.
Good Lord.
3 million warrantless searches is what's in this report. So, I mean, this is just one thing about the corruption. Just one thing.
Right.
And it's so much across the board. That's pretty much just been retweeted a bunch of times, obviously. And Republican Warren Davidson says reports reveals the federal government colluded with banks to access financial data and spy on Americans. Congress must pass an Oversight and Accountability Act he's put up to uphold our Fourth Amendment rights, because we're literally talking about constitutional rights.
Right, yeah.
They have no right to access our stuff this way.
Yeah, this is a total overstep. It's I hope all of this starts changing. going into this year, and I think a lot of it might, but it's a mess right now.
I wonder what happens when Trump, and if he gets all these people through, which I'm glad Pete Hegseth, how you say his name?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
I am so glad he didn't step down.
Yeah.
Because everything they're doing to him is just textbook.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They've done it for years, and they started it with Clarence Thomas years ago,
Yep.
and it's finally maybe we're standing up to it. Has he got issues? Yeah. Name me one person in Washington that doesn't have issues.
Yeah. Name me one person outside of Washington that doesn't have some issues, you know.
And it's so funny to me because people are standing up when the unnamed sources came out saying he come into Fox drunk and he did all this stuff. The named people on Fox that actually were on set with him come up and said, "Wait a minute, no NBC." None of that happened.
Yeah.
We have never seen him come in drunk. We've never smelled alcohol.
Right.
So you have named people standing up and going on the record against unnamed sources, and yet I still see all these mainstream media people, legacy ministry media, whatever you want to call them,
Yep.
coming out and saying, "Well, we have these unnamed sources, but we have named sources."
Yeah.
You know,
Legacy
they're willing
ministry
to-
might actually be a good word for them
ministry,
because
yeah.
they're their own religion at this point.
Exactly, that's true.
Cult, but
Cult, yeah, well,
religious
definitely.
cult.
Religious cult.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the government corruption is just through the roof. It's just, I mean, that's just one part of it, and then you get into the pardon thing. I'm not surprised. So I'm not surprised that Hunter got pardoned. If I'm the president and my son's in prison, just from a father to son, I'm going to probably pardon him. It's like it's my son. I got to pardon him. But that's not the underlying reasoning.
No, definitely not. But back to corruption right before we
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But because I want to say we're talking about federal corruption, but this stuff goes all the way down.
Oh yeah.
My brother's a plumber. I've told you this before, and he literally was told that one guy was turning down his work because he'd been called into the office to tell him this is a code enforcement guy. He was called in and said you were not failing enough of your inspections. I mean, it's like $120 for every reinspection.
Right, of course. Yeah. They got to make the money. Yeah,
exactly. That's corruption in itself.
Yeah, that's the one negative of capitalism.
So it's not like, okay, what do you mean negative
or just like
capitalism?
of like a free market, like where the good thing about like a capital, like you can create a business, you can make as much money, you do well, but when that money can also corrupt you. What I'm saying is that can lead to corruption. It's not capitalism's fault, but people allow capitalism.
Well, I was going to say that. I will say the. This is going to tick off a lot of people. I understand this, but the permitting system is actually anti-capitalism.
Yeah. If
my brother's a good plumber, he should be able to go and just plumb a house.
Oh yeah, needing a permit to do anything.
Exactly.
It's like that's ridiculous in general.
It is. It is.
If you're licensed and bonded, you shouldn't have to pull permits every time you do work.
Exactly.
It's like it's just a way.
It goes against the free market, but that's the corruption. That's what I'm getting at. The corruption and. Is so bad, and we're talking about, to me, probably hundreds of billions of dollars of corruption, if not trillion dollars in corruption inside Washington. It doesn't stop as we get to the state. Right. It doesn't stop as we come to the county, to the city.
Right.
And I'm, again, tick people off to the HOAs that drive me crazy.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on the HOAs. I have to run for an HOA board with where one of my rental properties is right now because they've corrupted and stole money from don't get me started on HOAs.
Exactly. I mean, it's little communist countries inside these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And just because somebody on the board doesn't like this. I mean, it's in the neighborhood I live in, somebody put up lights they wasn't supposed to, and they're having a fit about it. But yet, all these Christmas lights are up because it's an improved season.
Yeah. So now I have to stage a coup to get rid of the HOA board. to get because the HOA is bankrupt in this community.
Wow.
It's horrible.
I hear that a lot too. You could say so. The corruption is all the way out. But yeah, let's move on into pardons, and because it's an interesting one with Hunter.
When life gets unpredictable, turn to a partner you can trust. At Bobby Clary State Farm, we've got you covered. Whether it's home, auto, or life insurance, we're dedicated to providing personalized coverage that fits your needs. With our friendly and knowledgeable team, navigating your insurance options have never been easier. Visit BobbyClary.com or call 843-438-6000. Bobby Clary State Farm, here to help life go right. Are you looking to buy a property in North or South Carolina and need financing assistance? Give Motto Mortgage Coastal Pros a call today. We specialize in residential loans in both North and South Carolina and can meet all your residential home loan needs. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872.
If you like the economics part of the show, then check out my podcast, Econ Sense. You can find it on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts.
You're listening to the Dollars and Cents Radio Show with Jonathan Edmond and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com.
This segment brought to you by Eisenhower Dental. Reach out to them at 843-234-3110. And you said it earlier, it's not about Hunter.
No, it has nothing to do with Hunter. Hunter is a peon in this. I mean, it's obvious the corruption that's gone on. This man should have never been on any boards or any of this, the China company, any of this joke, this mess. I think he was on a Russian board of some energy company too. Yeah. So everything with that's a joke. But yeah, the pardon had nothing to do with Hunter.
No, and it's literally, and we'll get into this in a second, but it's literally to make sure Biden and other people don't get caught.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're just they're covering their ass.
But have you seen the legal analyst? Yeah, we're on the podcast.
I know. I know. Like, so, like now, when I see the timer rolling, I know like it feels like when you're like live on the actual air. Yeah, like it shows like the time. Now I know. Like, all right, now I'm not live on the air. I can say what I want. Yeah. So it's anyway. So go on.
I've seen some legal experts saying it may backfire because now Hunter can be called to testify.
Right.
And he doesn't have to worry about incriminating himself because he's pardoned.
Right.
So he cannot plead the fifth because he's not incriminating himself.
And I sure hope they do.
That would be something. That would be great.
That would be a great day. I'd love to.
What a move.
I might travel to go to that if that's open to the public when he has to testify. If I can.
I wonder if that's why they are. If they're so much talking about other pardons now. I wonder if they didn't realize they screwed up until they did it.
That might be the case. They might not have thought that, well, it's the Biden administration. They probably didn't think that far in advance.
That's true.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, if anything at all. I mean, chances are nothing happens, but if something does happen, that would...
My question also is, can this pardon be overturned for being unconstitutional? Since he pardoned without really pardoning his convictions.
Is there a rule to the pardon? Is there like with a presidential pardon, can you pardon as far back as you want? I don't know the rule on that. I mean, there's got to be some kind of stipulations to keep it from being overreaching.
Well, I would think of course, definitions don't mean anything anymore. But right. Pardon means you've been pardoned from something. I mean, you've been
something.
And he got pardoned from his gun charges. I get that. And what was the other charge in Delaware?
I don't know. What do you have? Cocaine IRS. In the House of Blues or whatever.
IRS. He owes millions of dollars in taxes. He's been pardoned for.
Oh, so he doesn't have to pay those taxes back?
I don't know the legal ramification, but that case has been pardoned for. I think that's the other one he's pardoned for. So, but I mean, here's more quote unquote conspiracy theories. Dan Bongino has been on top of this for years. A bunch of people have been on top of this for years, following the corruption in Burisma. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. It happened in other countries before Ukraine.
Right.
And I think it plays into Ukraine now. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm not, just so we know, I'm on the air, on the podcast, I'm not pro-Putin. I don't like the man. He's evil. He scares me.
Yes.
At the same time, and he should not have gone into Ukraine.
Correct.
At the same time, Ukraine is corrupt and evil, and they were considered the most corrupt nation in Europe until Russia invaded them.
Yep.
And as we got back in a podcast a few days ago about COVID, there's so much talk about we have the same type of research labs there in Ukraine with these deadly viruses in there. What's going to turn out if the wrong one gets hit?
Right. Yeah.
And the viruses don't get destroyed. It is so screwed up.
It is a mess. It's a mess. There's just the corruption has like so many layers to it. It's like an onion. You just keep there's just layers and layers. That's a line from Shrek. Ogres are like onions. But that's like it is. It's like you peel one layer off and there's just more. It's just like, how deep does this go? I mean, it's amazing. It's I don't know how you start to fix it, honestly.
Well, I think Trump has started. I mean, these picks, I wish Gates hadn't stepped down. I don't know if he would have got confirmed or not. And I listened to Bongino this week, so a lot of his stuff's clicking in my head, but most of his stuff came from somebody else. Yeah. It's like we got to draw the line somewhere. They took Gates out pretty quickly.
Yep.
Just swamp people up in Washington because they knew if Gates got in, he would turn over every leaf.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're too happy about the Florida AG being put in its place. They say she's kind of the same way, as if she's kind of nicer about it, I guess.
Yeah.
But I hope she does the same thing, just turns over every leaf.
Yep.
So then they move to Hicksmith, whatever his name is, and they're trying to destroy him.
Oh, yeah.
And if we had let him, or if he would have stepped down, they would have went to RFK.
Oh,
or
yeah.
they would have Tulsi.
Yep.
I mean, they're next on the list. If they fail of getting Pete out, they'll just move on to
Yeah,
Lifegate.
it's just the same old game, and they just won't stop.
Do you believe Lindsey was instrumental in some of this talk? Did you hear about that?
Graham?
Great. Oh yeah, our great
I
senator.
can't stand him. I can't stand you, Lindsey Graham. I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Now publicly he said he's for him, he's behind Trump and all, but there was some secretive stuff.
Yeah.
I read somewhere, and this is all hearsay, so it could be all false. So I'm not saying this is true. So fact checkers, they're checking
Probably
us.
true.
I'm not saying it is, but they were saying he's the one floating DeSantis as the replacement, not Trump, not anybody in
wow.
Trump's circle. Now again, that may be completely false.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
And
Obviously, I
forget
don't know.
The other one working with him, I forget the other senator's name, but there was two of them that they said were stirring the pot. He's come out since then and said he's backing.
Yeah, whatever. He's so
Smith.
slimy. I can't stand him. He is a slime ball.
You probably don't realize it. He almost got taken out before he got started. He was growing. His popularity was growing in South Carolina. He'd moved to, I forget what he came out of. And the reason I know this, I used to do political printing for a guy in Columbia, whose main client was used to be a lieutenant governor, Bauer.
Okay.
He's the one that got caught speeding down Assembly and told to cop off, and he also was the one who almost died in a plane crash up in the upstate.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
I can't remember his first name. I want to say Eddie, but that's not right.
Yeah, not that Bauer.
Yeah, not Bauer. So when he was going through the political stuff, he got real high, and he's going for Senate. Everybody knew he was going for Senate.
Mm-hmm.
But then he kind of stepped up and said he was going to get Strom Thurmond, and he got beat down bad. He said basically they told him, if you try to run in the primary against Thurmond, you will not hold office in this state again.
Yeah.
So he backed off. If he just stepped up and run against him, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right.
Because the good old boy network would have took him down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially here. Yeah. I'm not a fan of him, to say the least. We got to find a good replacement for him.
Yeah, we got to find him in the primary soon enough to play. Somebody asked me that today, what colleague, and I said, well, the problem is the GOP here probably will back two people that can't beat him and give them so much money to make sure he's the nominee.
Yep. I know. I hate how that works, but
I do too.
I guess we're stuck with him for a while.
Well, when is he up again? 2 years or 4? 2 years,
I think it's 2. I think it's 2 years. Yeah.
It's an off election year, so it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
But we need to do it.
We do need to do it.
Jonathan Edmond for Senate.
Oh, no. I'm not corrupt enough to run for Senate. No. They'd be like, this guy's too honest.
You going to run against Friday, that's what you tell me.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, we'll see how that...
Just kidding, Russell. Just kidding.
Yeah, I just met him for the first time not long ago. I can't be running against him and talking crap about him live on my podcast.
But the corruption runs, you're right, it runs real deep.
It really does.
And these pardons, I wonder who else. I've heard Fauci.
I've heard that. He deserves to be locked up and throw away the key, man.
He deserves that for AIDS back in the 80s.
Oh, he was behind
really there.
that. Yeah, he was behind that. Yeah,
he was.
What? Is he even really a doctor?
Yeah,
have we gone by and double checked that?
Oh, he's a doctor.
Yeah.
But he had
Doctor of lies.
I don't know if he's a research doctor or a medical doctor, but he didn't practice, obviously, because he was in the government in the 80s.
Oh, he's been practicing his making up stories since the 80s.
And that just shows you how long these bureaucrats stay in power in Washington. Now, I told you before, it's one thing Clinton said that I agreed with. You can't put too stringent of term limits on politicians, or either the bureaucrats will run everything.
Yeah.
As my Star Wars background would tell you.
Oh, jeez.
Phantom Menace, you remember
that?
Yeah. When Palpatine talked, what's her name, into calling for a vote of no confidence because she saw the bureaucrats running things.
Yeah.
Same thing happened here.
Yeah, see,
that's one of the sidetrack here. That's one of the things that I watched George Lucas as he put the universe together.
Yeah.
How he could do all that and then be so liberal today. I just don't understand how these minds in California work.
That Hollywood, they get sucked into that Hollywood bubble, and it's just like a different world. They're not living in. They're not living in this world. It's a different world. Yeah, it's a whole different world.
As you can see by all the people who are upset now, nobody listened to them during the election.
Yeah,
you seen that stuff?
Yeah,
all of them saying they're leaving. A few of them actually are leaving.
Yeah, a few of them are leaving. I think I heard Ellen DeGeneres is leaving. I don't know how true that is. I heard that, but
is
I don't know.
Is that the one? One of them said they were leaving, But technically, they had left a while ago. They had a house somewhere else.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? There's been a couple celebrities.
They'll be back.
They'll be back. I've heard a couple celebrities just say that they stopped talking about politics because they've realized people don't want to hear it from celebrities. I think Sarah Silverman said that, or somebody.
Thank you. Finally,
you guys live in a different universe.
Just tell jokes. Just sing. Just act. Let us enjoy your talent. And shut up.
And stop trafficking children, you sickos.
Yes, so that's a whole other story.
That's a different podcast. Go ahead and write that down on the list. We're going to get assassinated if this podcast actually takes off. Like if we go from 400 to 400,000 subscribers, I'm just going to wake up dead.
I'd like to get to 400. Okay,
400. Yeah, 400. Yeah. I mean, listen, we're 10% of the way there to 400, right?
That's true. That is true.
Yeah. Listen, it's 40 more than we had a month ago.
Yeah, that's very true.
The YouTube channel hasn't been up very long.
No, it hadn't. And a lot more than we have on audio, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so that one right.
Yeah, I'm telling you, people love visuals. I mean, people will scroll YouTube and they'll come up, they'll be searching something. Like I get recommended videos.
Do you sit there and watch a full 30, 40-minute podcast on YouTube?
Sometimes. At night when I'm laying in bed, usually I'm listening to it. I'm not a big visual guy when it comes to...
That's what I mean.
But a lot of people are, I'm telling you. I just know that they are.
But even when they put it on video on YouTube, I'm pretty sure most of them probably they're not sitting here watching us.
Some people
sit here; they're listening.
Yeah,
but it's still that visual.
But the name with the face, it's up. Maybe they have it streaming on their TV while they're making dinner, and they can pop over and see. So I mean, I'm telling you, people watch visuals.
I'm old school. I still like just the audio in the background.
Yeah. Well, everybody's different.
I've driven people crazy since I was in high school because I had to have two or three things going to be able to think.
Yeah.
I used to do my homework with music blaring. My mom would get so mad at me.
You
can't do your work like that. I'm a straight A student, Mom. Leave me alone.
Yeah. See, I was a C student, and I did my everything in silence because I need silence. But and it didn't help me. I should have just played music.
You're a C student, but you should have played music. Maybe you've been an A student. Maybe there's something behind that.
Maybe just that. Yeah, just vibing out with the music in the background would have put me in the right space to work harder instead of just sitting there in silence, bored,
there you go.
waiting to see if Mom would go to bed so I could play my Game Boy. Like, Mom, I'm trying to catch them all. I'm on Pokemon. I don't care about this stupid essay. Anyway, that's a different story. How video games have corrupted me from my youth is a different story.
I guess I could call up here and see. I don't know who else has been talked about being pardoned, but Fauci was the one obviously on top of the list.
Yeah,
but they were talking about many government officials, which to me, okay, so you telling me that you know they've done stuff wrong, and they'd be like, oh no, Trump's just going to trump up stuff. Oh, like y'all did on Trump.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're doing the same things they do. They love accusing people of doing things because if they throw that out, then it's like, oh, if they're doing it, it's like, oh, it's just how it works because they're doing it. So it's a joke. I mean, honestly, at this point, they're probably going to pardon P. Diddy.
You think they get away with that?
I honestly, look what they've gotten away with so far. They're doing a great job.
That's true. That is true.
You know, they would say
we got a 76-year-old grandmother who's a mother of 7, including adopted children, disabilities, now is going to go to jail because she was a pro-life activist. They're using the FACE Act. That's another corruption when we go on the FACE Act.
Yeah.
They literally have broken into people's houses and arrested them in front of their family because they were out protesting in front of a abortion clinic.
It's crazy.
But yet you can do all this other stuff on the other side, and it's mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful. Yeah, it's wild. Wild.
So I'm glancing. I don't see who else is talking about pardon.
I don't know.
Talking about corruption, though. Carrie Lake posted this 2 days ago. 1,943 days since Epstein died. 1,670 days since Maxwell was arrested. Not a single one of their clients has been exposed, but Hunter Biden gets a pardon.
Yeah.
Justice isn't blind, it's selective.
And what's crazy is if they have the client list and have done any research into this, they know who has committed some of these acts. They know about some of these rings. They know about what was going on, and they just decided, well, there's too many people on here. We gotta just stop. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
You realize who may be in charge of the Epstein book come January?
Would that be?
Patel.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Now, if they don't get Hecksmith out, and I'm sure they'll work on the other ones, you can bet all guns are coming out for Cash Patel.
Yeah,
that's one they do not want.
He is cool, man. I like that guy.
He's just like, I don't care.
Yeah, he's going to be a super villain.
And he's read. He's read. Did you see on the Beck podcast? He actually has. He says, I've read the JFK papers, all of them, unredacted. He
Has
can't talk
he had
about
access to him?
He had access in one of his jobs.
What did he
with the
say
Trump.
about it? What did he say?
He said that it's not being released for reasons that you have not talked about. So literally everything we've talked about on here, and everybody's talked about CIA involved in this, that, and the
Those
other
are the
thing.
reasons, then, is what he's saying.
No, he's saying
It's
that's
not because of that.
it's not because of that. It's because of other issues that are entangled with it
Oh,
that they
man.
won't release it.
Oh,
And of course,
wow.
that got my head going like,
Where does it go
wow.
from there?
Where
Does it like implicate other countries involved in assassinating him or something? Where would
I
it
don't know.
actually hurt?
Basically, and again, he couldn't say a lot. 'Cause,
Right.
He could go to jail. He just basically said, just think about other assets that have been developed and all, and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's like all this stuff about, what we've kind of thought about,
Mhm.
are not even the reasons. So, what is it? What could it be?
It's got to go deep then.
I don't know if necessarily deep as wide.
Right. Well, yeah.
What else?
Yeah.
What else?
There's a web there.
What else would get caught up in those files about JFK that would be still?
It from 1963.
Yeah,
but it
that
would
is
be
still
relevant.
going on now.
It's got to be. It's got to be something with like the tactics they used, and
Could be.
it could be something with like how like maybe they use the same tactics today, like for assassinations,
Mhm.
and it would give away something that would affect their ability to still carry out assassinations. That was a tactic, you know.
Could be. But he did tell Drake, and this has been a few months ago, that he said, I've read the JFK papers.
I can't believe he
I'm
had
talking-
access to them. How do you have access?
He was, I forget what he was, but he
Yeah.
did have some kind of access to them. So I found it. Pardons. Here's just a few more of these things about pardoning. Fauci, we said. Schiff,
Oh,
'Cause
Shifty Schiff.
the one that carried on the collusion hoax over and over,
Yeah.
lied to us over and over again.
Yep.
And Liz Cheney.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just three.
Yeah.
He's talking about pardoning ahead of time. Could be pardoned without being charged with crimes, which I'm sorry that should not be constitutional.
You shouldn't be able to pardon somebody for something they haven't been charged with yet. Like, 'cause then
Exactly.
you're basically admitting that they for sure did something. If you're worried about them
Well,
being
they would
charged.
say no. We just think he's going to politicize it. And go
Well, I
after
know
him.
what they'll say, but you
But
only
in
do that for one
realistically,
reason.
Yeah, in reality, yeah, that they obviously have something to hide. Does he need to
2020.
pardon KJP too?
Probably. Yeah, go ahead and let R. Kelly and Diddy out while you're over there, you scumbags. Man, 2025 could be an interesting year.
I keep hoping the next year will be more calm, and it just doesn't seem like it's getting there.
Yeah, I really hope they release those files, though. Oh, I want those out so bad.
You're not the only one.
Oh, I want them out so bad.
Did you
I've
watch
been
that
studying
X-Files
this thing forever.
episode yet?
I haven't watched the X Files episode. I'm going to
need
go
to send
back and
that
probably
to
just
you.
watch all of the X Files.
I need to send that. I'll send a link to that
Yeah.
one to you.
Yeah, I
That
need
was
to check that one out.
That one's pretty funny to watch.
Yeah.
Thinking, especially how you think about the assassination.
Yeah.
I'm scanning for pardons, and
Yeah. Don't they pardon the turkey every year for Thanksgiving?
Hunter Biden celebrating the pardon. What's that guy's name? Elmo.
Yeah, Elmo. That's funny.
Yeah, Fauci. I'm seeing the same ones. I haven't seen anybody beyond those.
Yeah.
But
Oh, man.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
If a president can then pardon anybody without being tried, and I guess it still has to be in the past. And that hurts people say that. Well, yeah, you'll never be able to get Hunter on anything. But going forward, if he does something now, he's not pardoned for it.
Right.
Anything after December 1st, 2nd,
Yeah.
there's no way you can write a pardon. I mean, that would be stupid.
Yeah.
Okay, Jonathan, I'm gonna write you a pardon for the next 30 years. You can do whatever you want. You're
Right.
pardoned. I mean, that's
So are we saying for sure that you can't pardon somebody in the future? That's for sure.
how could you?
Well, they pardoned him back 11 years. Why not pardon him in the future
that's
11
bad
years?
enough. But how could you make the legal argument for pardoning? So I mean, that just gives them carte blanche to do anything they want.
Well, it seems like they've been operating that way
That's true.
anyway.
Yeah, this is true. 30 years ago, Dr. Robert Wilner accused Fauci and others of genocide for their role in the HIV crisis.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been going on a while.
Yeah, just murdering people since the 80s. Good for you, Fauci. I'm glad you've gotten away with it this long. You Waste of life.
You can say it, POS. You can say
Yeah,
it. We're
yeah.
on
Oh,
the
that's right.
podcast.
We're on the podcast now, baby. We ain't running. Which this might have died. Nope.
No,
it's
I
still
turned
up.
it off to say the battery is
okay.
getting down dead. We
9%.
gotta use it at least one more time
Yep.
before we get through recording today.
Yep,
So
yep.
I got power supplies so we can power.
Perfect. So are we done talking about just corruption for the day? Now that we've spent 2 hours on it. I mean,
we
well-
can be done though. We're not done, obviously.
Well, they're
'cause
never
we could,
done.
We could talk forever on it, but
Yeah.
I'm done if you are.
I think I've said all I need to say for today.
Tune in next time.
Yeah. I'm sad enough for a Friday. I think I'm good to go.
All right. So, yep, we'll join you on Friday for our next podcast.
Yeah, we'll see you for Corruption Part 47 next week.
Please not. Let's get through Christmas first.
Yeah, let's
we'll pick it up next
Merry
year.
Christmas, everybody.
Eisenhower Dental, located at 107 Waccamaw Medical Park Drive in Conway, a place where you can find all your dental services, including general dentistry, cosmetic, restorative, and pediatric dentistry. Reach out to them today at their website, eisenhowerdental.com, or call them at 843-234-3110, 843-234-3110, and tell them Wes the Economist sent you.
Thanks for listening to the Dollars and Cents Podcast with Jonathan the Conspiracy Theorist and Wes the Economist. Don't forget to send us your topics and give us feedback at dollarscentsgs@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and X at dollarscentsgs. You can follow us on Facebook at Dollars and Cents. Listen to us on the podcast format at Dollars and Cents Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube at the Dollars and Cents Podcast. Are you looking to buy a home in North or South Carolina? You need to reach out to Wave Beach Realty today. We are a family-owned company with over 10 years of experience in North and South Carolina and operate along the Grand Strand. Give us a call today at 843-957-3872. That's 843-957-3872. The holidays are almost here, so it's time to get your financial picture wrapped up so you can have a great Christmas and a happy new year. Reach out to me at coachwestc@gmail.com to get some financial coaching.